Right then, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. Let's talk about what's going on with Garnacho and is he going to Napoli? I'll give you the full rundown, what I can see going on, what I think's going on, all of the rest of that good stuff, if that's all right with you lot. Should we do that? Let's get into it. Obviously, we've got a game later on today, so we will see how it's going on. So Napoli have been actively pursuing Garnacho because Kvara has obviously gone to PSG. Reports indicate that they're offering somewhere in the region of 45 million, including bonuses. United's valuation is set higher, somewhere around 60 to 70 million euros for them to consider selling Garnacho. More recent reports with ongoing negotiations reckon Napoli are confident of reaching an agreement with personal terms for Garnacho on a 5-year deal. When you start getting that level of detail of information coming out, it generally means there's an agreement that's very close, in my opinion. It seems like the clubs are fairly far apart on the transfer fee. United, really trying to ramp up what we get for him. It seems like Napoli are keen. There's been indications Garnacho was open to moving to Napoli. Obviously, heavily being Argentinian, heavily influenced by the legacy of Diego Maradona, and obviously the current situation at United under Amorim. His team are reportedly meeting with Napoli representatives in Spain. United's financial situation and the need to generate what's known as pure profit because of the sale of an academy graduate like Garnacho is highlighted as one of the reasons for considering the sale, although we're not supposedly actively pushing for his exit. Some reports suggest that the transfer rumours could be agent-driven, with United not necessarily likely to entertain serious offers for Garnacho in January unless a massive, massive bid comes in. So that's what the situation is. It does seem, to me at least, like there's genuine interest from Napoli. I believe there was genuine interest in them in Rashford, but that's seemingly not materialised. If we're going to sell him, and we're going to sell him for a big profit, then that's fine. But if we're not going to sell him for a big profit, then I wouldn't sell. My main concern is the rest of this season for Manchester United and beyond. Clearly, Rashford's not going to be involved at all ever again by the looks of things. And seemingly, if you sell Garnacho and Rashford, we were probably short in attack anyway. We can't allow two people to go and not replace them. My worry is, if we're having to sell, is there money to even bring somebody in? We've been talking about the situation that the Glazers have put us in for the longest time. And people are only just starting to figure out what's coming home to roost with what's happened with the Glazers. It's absolutely decimated this football club. And we've been poorly run for so long that you just don't see how Manchester United get out of this. I certainly think that this January is a disaster. We are halfway through January. United haven't even really been rumoured with bringing anybody in. It's absolutely different. It's absolutely different. And it's worrying because recruitment is the number one thing. If you don't bring in good players, I just don't see where you improve this football team. James says, I like the guy, but it might be a necessary sacrifice we have to make for our financials. Amar says, I would sell Garnacho and spend the money on someone like Cunha, but what's he going to cost? And Mbuemo's been one that's been linked with us. Is it feasible? What's he going to cost us? Jeffrey says, ridiculous thing to do and only 60 million. What do we pay for Anthony? This club's being run into the ground. Who are you going to get for 60 million? Yeah, that's the problem. Dave says, Beckham was sold for 25 mil. It was 22 years ago that we sold him for 25 mil. And even that, we'd undersold that, to be honest. We've never been good at selling players. Even when we sold Cristiano Ronaldo, we didn't really get great. It was a world record fee and it was still cheap. MFC says, look how much better Liverpool got after selling Coutinho. I mean, that's one example. He's not the reason they got better. Christian says, we'd only sell if a buyback clause is in effect. Buyback clauses are a waste of time. I mean, what would the buyback clause be? It'd be in excess of 100 million. And if you're spending 100 million, there are better players than Garnacho. So, yeah. Dan says, 70 million gets you nothing. Even if you reinvest every penny, you're not getting close to Garnacho. I think you could. I think there's a lot better players out there than that. Max says, Garnacho's a young, exciting winger with high-level potential. I know there's personality issues, but 60 million seems criminal in this market. Apna says, we won't be able to replace Garnacho with the money. Transfer money plus wages. New player would demand. Academy players can be patient with wages. But again, this is why the PSR system fundamentally is broken, because you are incentivized to sell an academy player because you get to book, let's call it 60 million. You put 60 million on the accounts today, and then you spread out the cost of a 100 million pound signing over 5 years. That's why it's different. Yeah, because let's be honest, 60 million profit and spend 100 million on a new signing makes no sense whatsoever. Like you're down 40 million, right? No, actually you're up because you get to book it across multiple years. That's the ridiculousness of it. That's ridiculousness for it. Marty says, even though I think Garnacho needs improvement and become more of a team player, I see his talent and potential. I'm disgusted United are willing to sell him. He's important for the squad. James says, I'd accept money on Osimhen. Sahil says, 70 million a PSR profit is a lot. Jerry says, if Kvara is 70 million euros, Garnacho is same. Kvara is better player. Andrew says, did Liverpool get better, or have City and Arsenal just shit the bed? It's probably an element of that, isn't there? Because they've not been anywhere near as good as they were last year. Liverpool have Slot's come into a steady ship, hasn't he? You know, they literally didn't sign anyone in the summer, so there's no one that had to settle in. People were already there and already doing what they needed to do. Andrew says, Steve, there's no point selling Garnacho if Rashford leaves too, and then we can't get a replacement considering the lack of goals. We are shooting ourselves in the foot. This is an interesting comment here from YPre. Says, I'd take the 6-point deduction and fail to meet PSR regulations. There might be teams that factor in a PSR point deduction and just do what the fuck they want. You might be, I don't know if I've got the maths in me to do it, but there might be a way where you go, do you know what? We're going to finish wherever we're going to finish. Let's just fuck it. Take the point deduction now. Get ourselves right with PSR in 2 years. And take it on the chin. Nottingham Forest probably didn't do this on purpose when they fell foul of what was going on with PSR, when they signed like 50 players. Was it last season or the season before? I don't think that was part of their business plan at the time. I think it was the situation that ended up unfolding for them. But I think if you asked all Forest fans right now, would they take what's going on at the club now over the way it was 2 years ago? And they said, you know, they'll all be fucking delighted with it. They're flying at the moment. Mustafa says, most expensive player last summer was Alvarez for 60 million. I think teams are not spending like they did 2 years ago on one player. Would I take the deal? I think I probably would, factoring in the financial situation that United are in, because I really think that we're fucked financially, like proper fucked. So I think we're probably going to need to. You know, we've spent and lost a lot of money. We only got away with it last season because of some dispensation over COVID. You can't keep playing that card. So I think we're probably a lot more fucked than we think. And it will require us probably selling Garnacho and Rashford because of the pure profit side of what's going on with them. Maybe there's some players that have been here a little bit longer we can sell as well. And obviously they'll not be pure profit, but they'll be significant profit. It might need to be done. Alex says, would one top left wing back ease the pain? I still think a left wing back and some sort of either striker or number 10 is required. Rotmi says Garnacho is not good, easily replaceable. Apna says, to be honest, United should be able to take a minimum point deduction by the end of the season and try and offload big wage players first. Adam says Forest will sell this summer. Could easily see Murillo or Elanga sold to keep in line. IR says all fun and games till a point deduction puts us in a relegation battle. Again, that's another factor that you have to think about when it comes to making the decision on this PSR situation. You've got your take the point deduction for the financial fuckery, and then you've got the take the point deduction, but does it put us in a relegation battle? I mean, at the moment, a point deduction would leave us, depending on what it is, let's say it was 6. I'm just going to pull the table up. I think a 6-point deduction would put us right in the shit, to be honest with you. 6-point deduction would put us on 17. That's the difference between us and Everton. I mean, Everton are not out of it. Wolves and Ipswich are both on 16. Leicester are on 14. Southampton obviously coming to Old Trafford tonight to try and increase their 6 that they've got. A win tonight can move us to the dizzy heights of 12th. Fun and games. Oh, fucking hell. FPL says PSR coming to an end, should see some interesting trends. Garnacho is worth 100 million. I don't think he is. Tyler says getting a left wing back and a striker can only get so hard. Steve, come on, mate, I'm trying to work. There's one thing talking about it, there's another thing actually doing it. I don't think we're going to do it. Omar says, I do appreciate Garnacho, but sacrifices have to be made in order to grow. He doesn't suit the system as well. IR says, did Everton not get a double-digit point deduction initially, or imagining that? I think they did, yeah. Let's just have a Google. Yeah, 10 points. Damn. Adam says, how do we have 2 free academy players in our first team and we're still dodgy PSR territory? Because we've been run like fucking idiots for so long. You've got a lot of expensive signings in that team. And for years we talked about how, we're selling the likes of Dylan Levitt for 200 grand, Ethan Laird for hundreds of thousands. You were seeing Liverpool and that, and Chelsea selling players for 10, 12, 15, 20 million pound. And you're like, they're no better than the players that we're letting go here. Fucking Zidane Iqbal went for 100 grand or something like that. Are you fucking serious? We're talking full international footballers here, and we're just, whatever. Gives 50 quid. Fucking, and a bag of balls. It's an absolute scandal. The club has been poorly run in every area that you look. Every area that you look, this football club has been poorly run. That's the legacy of the Glazers at this football club. We had a bloated squad that was on far too much in terms of wages. We paid far too much for it, and we had nobody skilled at being able to bring a fucking deal in. Like, a director of football that had been here for the last X number of years would have been worth their weight in gold. Someone that was able to flip players for a profit, someone that actually knew and had connections where Manchester United could sell players for even 5, 10, 7 million pounds. You sell 4 or 5 of them a season, and you're talking about Manchester United pedigree youngsters. Vertigo says Ryan Brewster was it for 25 million. Exactly. That's what United haven't had. We haven't had competent football staff. We've been run by bankers and wankers, and we've not had, we thought we could just fucking survive on the fact that we were the biggest, most talked about football club. You have to maintain a competitive edge, and 20 years of erosion has left us in the fucking position that we're in now, where it's just completely fucked. Completely fucked. How are Manchester United struggling financially? There's only one reason. The fucking Glazers. And I think Jim Ratcliffe's making some rash decisions, some unpopular decisions, some decisions that I don't think move the needle for anywhere near as much as the shit that he's getting for moving them. Like, cancelling the 40 grand to the ex-players foundation. Needless. The ticket price increase, it's on casual ticket sales, so it's not on season tickets, not yet at least anyway. But coming out with stuff saying, it costs more to go watch Fulham. I don't give a fuck. Fulham and Manchester are not the same fucking place. They are culturally different. Couldn't be much culturally different. More culturally different, to be honest with you. Don't erode what made this fucking football club. The bottom line impact and needle moving that you get versus the shitstorm PR-wise that it brings is not needed. I've said for a while, I can't wait to be all in on my football club again. Because there is a aftertaste. Don't feel like you can fully support the club sponsors because of the relationship with the fans and the owners. It's not a nice position to be in. It's when I was growing up, I would buy a Sharp CD player over a JVC one because that's Arsenal and this is United. And that's how it should be. You support the companies that support your football club. Whereas since 2005, I was on the fucking flash mobbing in Ladbrokes and terrorising the Nike stores and sticking fucking Love United Hate Glazer stickers all over everything in town, causing an absolute riot in the gaff. Since then, there's been a distaste. Don't want to buy shirts. Feel weird going to games on a certain level because you're giving money to them. There's a complete fucking disconnect. It's like, I go and watch the team in spite of the club. And that's not the way to be. You're supposed to be all fucking in. It's horrible. Lee says, is this financial situation we're in now modern day Leeds? Different circumstances, but we're skint and facing a fire sale. Not quite as drastic as that. But that, at the time, was the scary part about when the Glazers originally came in, because I think Leeds had just happened. It was a very real prospect at the time, and it has only been on the back of exponential, unforeseen rises in the TV revenue. It can't continue to go up constantly. It can't. There has to be a limit and a cap to where the TV money goes to. But players, agents will never be like, there's less TV money this time. Oh, there's a global financial crisis. Yeah, I'll take a 40% pay cut just because I just like playing the game. They're not going to do that. Everyone's financially motivated and everyone's going to want more and more and more. They'll be like, all right, yeah, cool. There's no one in the stadium because everyone's skint. Cool. I want 400 grand a week. And if they don't get it, they'll end up going to fucking Saudi or somewhere because the writing is on the wall already. And when you start selling off your academy players because of financial regulations and the way in which financial regulations are managed, it's a slippery slope. But all of this started by allowing oligarchs to come into the game, and it got worse when you allowed literal nation states to buy sports clubs for the purpose of washing their image. And if they didn't do it with football clubs, if you deregulated it to the point where you couldn't do that, it wouldn't matter because they're buying competitions and they're buying, look, think about the population of some of those very, very small states. Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi, they're very, very small populations. They've all got a Grand Prix. Isn't that nuts? They all have these ridiculous. They all have these ridiculous sort of global tournaments of tennis tournaments, yachting tournaments, just because they're throwing golf tournaments. They're throwing fucking money at it because they want to change it from oil-based economies to tourism-based economies. And to be fair, they've got the fucking weather. You're always going to get people that want to go and spend some time in the sun versus I don't know, one of the rainiest fucking climates on earth. Yep. MFC says, shit like this makes me just want to follow local football up the paddock from Australia. Yeah, I mean, look, I run straight for Paddock FC. We have 8 teams. I have got half a dozen or so of my under 16s in the team at the moment. I get a charge off what I do with this team. Like, I like the challenge of coming up with training sessions. We had a fucking great training session Tuesday night. One of the most aggressive, competitive training sessions we've ever had. I fucking thoroughly enjoyed it. Lads nailing each other. Like, full on. Proper fucking competitive. And that prepares you for weekend. It's all I've ever wanted, is my training sessions to be that fucking hard. That, you know, taken from what the likes of Roy Keane used to say. The hardest game we used to have was a Wednesday morning at Carrington. And then the game was easy at the weekend. That's all I've ever wanted to get us to. And we started to get to it there. We're fucking getting it with that. But I want to build a football club. You know, we've been in negotiations for fucking nearly 4 years trying to buy a stadium, trying to find investment to buy a stadium, to build a grassroots football team. We all support Manchester United, I think. At least 99% of the people involved in this chat support Manchester United, I believe. Where do Manchester United get their academy players from? They get them from the East Manchester Junior Football League primarily, right? Who coaches those players? Who's developing those players? Nobody. It's pure luck. It's someone's dad. It's someone's uncle. It's someone's mate. It's a level 1, level 2 coach who's doing it as a hobby. There's no money in this. It's for the love, for all of us. I don't get paid from Paddock. It's one of my fucking most time-consuming activities in a week. And I'm a pure volunteer. In fact, it costs me money to do what I do. But we do it for the love. We do it for the passion. We do it for the pursuit of trying to improve what we're doing, to try and give young lads an opportunity. You know, I want to build a football club that becomes the place, selfishly, becomes the place that creates Manchester United academy players. Do you know how much fucking pride I would get in that if Kobbie Mainoo came through Stretford Paddock? If Rashford, Garnacho, Collier, if those lads came through the football team that I create, and actually a lot of the people that are in this chat have had a hand in running. We are a 100% democratic football club. You watching this right now, there's 2,300 of you watching this right now. You lot could all become a member and you could decide how we operate this club. You decide what we charge for memberships, what we charge for our kits. You get to choose our kit. In fact, I'm posting, we have our voting for next season's kit. I'm going to post that today or tomorrow. We have the designs, and I have my design. I did one. But the members are going to choose what fucking kits we wear next year. All of them. Home, away, and our third kit. You know, I enjoy the process of this. This is, you know, it's not better football. It's certainly not a better quality of football. But it makes you feel involved. And I fucking get a charge out of it. Out of what we do. We had one of our under 16s score last week. A 15-year-old boy that came into the team. We're not allowed to play until they're 16. So we had, from summer, we had about half a dozen under 16s training with us because I saw them at the trial and I went, these are good. I want to see how good they genuinely are. Brought them into first team training and they were good. From a technical level, they were there. From a physical level, they weren't there. But we've built them up. And now there's probably been 7 or 8 under 16s playing my first team this year. And I fucking love what they bring to the team. I'm building a football club. And one day, one of these kids will end up playing for United. Maybe not one that plays for us now, but there'll be a kid that's never played anywhere else, comes to one of our soccer schools, which starts this month, by the way, for 4 and 5-year-olds. And we will create a player that plays for United. I am fucking more certain of that than that the sun's going to go down later today. Like, I will make that happen. And you lot, if you want to get involved in it, can fucking get in the mix. Sean says, being a part of Paddock from New Zealand is mint. Cheers, Steve. Mechanical Tiger says, where can I see the kit? So if you are a Paddock member, you will get the MailChimp email later today or tomorrow when I post it out. So if you want to become a member, just search Stretford Paddock membership and find it, and you will become a member like that. And then you'll get to vote on everything that we do, and you'll get to own a football club that will never be sold, that will always be owned by our members, because that's what I believe in. Shep says, I get a proper buzz out of going. And I get a proper buzz out of seeing you there, mate. Like, it's nuts that we've now become a part of people's lives. And hopefully we get a good game on Saturday, because we played like dickheads last time we played these lots, so we deserve it. Dale says, yes, team at the game tonight. VIP lounge should be good. Enjoy, mate. Imran says, Steve can't bring himself to give Maguire a top rating, so can the Arsenal player rating? I give him an 8.5. So, yeah, there was actually... I didn't think you lot give a fuck about the player ratings videos. I'll be brutally honest with you. And there was an issue with the edited file. The audio had slipped on it, so it was one of those. So we canned it. Andrew says, passion for the team oozes out the screen. Love watching your views in United. Genuine true fan. Thanks for all the hard work and graft you put in. I think we were going to be posting the highlights. We won 7-0 last week. We're going to be posting the highlights of it. I fucking love how we play. Brian says, being involved with Paddock is more rewarding than watching United, even in its heyday. Having a say in the future of a club, something every fan wants. There you go. Marie says, I got my Stretford Paddock kit not too long ago and it's mint. I'm ready for the next kit. Where do I think Rashford will go? Says YS. I think he really wants Barcelona. I don't think they have the finances. Barcelona are mental, you know. Barcelona are absolutely mental in terms of how they're run. Yeah, I don't know. I get the impression he's going to go, though, because he can't go 7 or 8 months without playing football, can he? So I'm pretty sure he'll go. I think they're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's about where Rashford ends up going. I mean, where do you lot reckon he's going to go? Do you think he's going to go? Steve says, don't say who designed what kit, Steve. Keep it as unbiased as possible so people pick what they want rather than picking yours because you designed it. Yeah, that's how they come. They come with a name on the kits in terms of like, that's why I've not told you what my design is. So I won't tell you what my design is. Last season, in fact, run it. Get us a Paddock shirt, please. Get us a Paddock shirt, home and away. Yeah, home and away one, please. So, last season, my wife designed this. And when she came up with the concept, I liked her thoughts behind the concept. The concept is inspired by Alan Turing. Alan Turing, obviously a great Mancunian legend of the Second World War, broke the Enigma code, and had a massive hand in generating computers and things like that, and has got a fantastic quote. So we put a quote of his on the sleeve. We've got like binary 1s and 0s code on the front of the shirt. And Janine came up with this design, which was, thank you, was half black, half red. And personally, didn't like it. So you can just about see the code on there, can't you? And the quote on the sleeve, we can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see there is plenty that needs to be done. And I thought that just suits what we're trying to do as a club. But we have entirely custom kits, so we can do whatever we want. That's the home one. And when Janine did this red and black half and half, I was like, that's not our colours. But I like it now. And I think it suits us, and it's, you know, it's moving in a different way away from United a little bit, but I like it. And this is the away kit. The away kit's green and gold. You can definitely inspired by United, but it suits the home kit. On the sleeve, 100 plus 0, because we are not 50 plus 1. We are 100% fan owned. And then the design in the middle of the shirt, kind of see it on the camera, it's a map. It's a map of Stretford. It's an old school map of Stretford. Like, I fucking love the kits that we're able to produce. Fuse have done a sensational job with this, and my missus, she designed both of these. She's done a fucking brilliant job on both of those kits, so we shall get to see. How far is Paddock's league from the National League? 6 promotions, I think. John says, to be honest, mate, I prefer the ratings more than the 5 things. Well, I added the ratings because on 5 things, you're going to talk about 5 things. But there's generally, 14, 15 players involved in every game? You miss things. So I wanted to do that for that reason. Hodgie says, I see him at Napoli. AC Milan says, Homesell is talking about Rashford here. Tom says, what sizes do we go up to in paddock shirts? Do they fit a generously proportioned geezer? We go up to 4 or 5XL, I think, or there's not loads in those sizes. There's still a few shirts available. There's not many. There's, I think, less than 5 of each. So whatever sizes we've got is whatever sizes we've got at the moment, and we're probably not going to reorder them in because obviously new shirts will be coming in January, not in January, sorry, in about April for us to go and get them reshot and stuff. They're a bit tight on the sleeves, so if you've done a bicep curl in the last 6 months, you might want to size up. Mad Heart says, I'm done with this club if we sell Garnacho and Menu. Ava says, I love the player ratings video. I always appreciate the insight. Are we ready for tonight? Predictions? I think we win, but it's going to be a bit iffy. DG says, player ratings vids are great when we are winning. Making United content is great when we're winning. It's not when we lose, and no one watches it when we lose as well. Now, some people, they have opposition fans come and watch them and come and laugh at them because they're overreactionary bellends. It's not my idea of making content. I do this because I love the club, and I think that comes across. And when we lose, I can't be arsed, but I'm not going to overreact, and therefore we get less views. So you're not even incentivized to do it because you're going to get fucking less views. Verti Joe says, wait a minute, you've got some spares of the home kit? I believe so. Check the website. I'll just say shop.stretfordpaddock.com or whatever it's called and just have a look. Harold says, all Norwegian clubs are cell-phone, governed by members and own their own resources. I can't buy Bodo Glimt, members own it. I think that's how it should be. Bayern Munich are 75% owned by members and the other 25% is owned by, I think, Audi, Adidas and Allianz. Own like a third of it or whatever. Adam says, from Stretford, living in Perth, do you have any of the green and gold available to buy? Got some cash saved up from not buying United shirts. Go check the website. I don't know what's in stock. I know there's some in stock because there's some in that room over there. And that's all I know. Check the website. If it's in your size, if you can buy it on the website, then it's in stock and it's in your size. I think there's maybe half dozen of each left, tops. Some sizes will have sold out. The best thing is to go and check. But if you want to get involved either way, then become a member. There's some information going out today with the kit stuff about the stadium. So if you're a nosy bastard and you want to get involved, become a member and you can have a look at that and see what you think. And maybe give us some ideas on what we can do in terms of the stadium situation that there is. How do we buy the shirts and do you ship internationally? Just search Stretford Paddock FC, the memberships and the shirts. I trust in your ability to use Google. Stretford Paddock FC shop, and it'll all be available. Yes, we ship internationally. Am I bothered that United is open to sell Garnacho? No. Yes, I am, yeah. But I also think it's because of the financial situation, and that's the primary driver of it, I think. Peter says, you should see my local team's kit up north in Norway wearing green shirts, red socks and green shorts, like a Santa Claus or an elf kind of tribute thing. Brian says, and the kits were voted for by members only. Yeah, they were, yes. Verti Joe says, I got the green and gold kit. Aris says, Alan Turing almost single-handedly won the war. Major legend. Yeah, it's why he's on the shirt. Chekhov says, I trust in your ability to use Google. Connor says, I got the Codebreaker jersey. Nice fit. I got a medium, 5'11", 80 kg. Nice fit on the body. The arms are tight but comfortable. Yeah, the players did complain about how tight they were on the arms a little bit. O'Shea says, just become a member of Paddock FC. Fucking legend. Love the concept, love the content, love United up the paddock. Brilliant. That's all we want. Like, ultimately, the more members that we get, the more impact we can have as a football club in the area. That's what I'm trying to do. And the more people that have a say in it, everything becomes easier. We're easier sell to sponsors the more members that we have. The more members that we have, obviously, the more cash flow that comes into the club, the more people that share the stories, share the videos. Everything goes up when you've got more people that are invested into it. And it's not about the financial investment, it's about the emotional investment. Because the more people that give a fuck about it, like I'll post something out today a little bit about, we're in a situation with a stadium. I'll post a little bit about that as well. We've already had some good ideas come back, but I want to put it out to everyone and see what everyone thinks about it, because you never know who's in the membership. Someone might go, oh, I've got a construction company, we can do that, or blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the beauty of having a club that's run by so many different people. All those minds help with doing stuff. All of those minds, you know, you might know a good physio, you might know a good, like, there's so many aspects when it comes to running a football club that people don't get. But the big one is it is a community. You know, and we have a fucking great community. Like, we went on a community hike just after Christmas, in between Christmas and New Year. We had some of the juniors joining us. Like, we got our under-16s are in a semi-final. They're smashing their league. Our under-12s are smashing their league. Our reserves are currently top of the league. If we win our games in hand, we can go second in our league. Like, we're fucking flying at the moment. There's a great energy about the place, and I love it. It's fucking massively satisfying to do. Dean says, not many wonder kids out there. Definitely not for a Premier League problem. 20-year-old madness. United Indian says, that feeling when you have a share in a football club at any level is, and a heart emoji. Bubba says, we're the most talked about. We've been made a laughing stock. We are. Gavin says, people throwing Coutinho example up, not the same. He wasn't an academy graduate. Hadn't even hit his prime yet. Also, it was one of those mad... Barcelona went through that mad period of just spending obscene amounts on a handful of players, and also it was pre-PSR, so it isn't the same. But you're right, yeah. Sean with a super chat there says, purely hypothetical, but in PSR rules, say we sold an academy player to another team 50 mil and bought a player back for them for 50 mil, then loan both players back to the original club. I believe you could do that, yeah. You would book a £50 million profit immediately and then spread that 50 million over 5 years, so 10 million a year. Didn't Barcelona and Juventus do that with, was it Pjanic? And then I think someone was like, they basically bought and sold someone for the same figure, and everyone was like, whoa, fuck off. That was a FFP thing, if I'm not misremembering. Simon says, just became a member. Is there an app yet? Not a web app. Oh, yeah, there kind of is. But we have a software where it's like a members portal. We have got, you will get your membership card on your phone. So in my wallet on my phone, I have my Paddock FC membership card, which is pretty cool, isn't it? So in between all my other cards, I have my Paddock FC membership card. Founder member. Toby says, surely Obi Martin is nearly ready for the first team. I'm not sure he is yet, to be honest. IR says, Steve, will the Paddock shirt always be red and black going forward? It will depend on the members, mate, to be honest. There are red and black ones. I haven't got it on this computer, it's on my laptop. There are red and black ones in the vote that I'm about to post. But there are plain red ones in there as well. So, yeah. Jack says, could Ibrahimov be a long-term replacement for Garnacho? I think he'd be better suited to the number 10 sort of inside position than Garnacho is, to be honest. But he's so young. I think he's only 17 still. I think, yeah, this song is long. Luke says, do you not think that club's current stance on all players being sellable is a good thing? Everyone under the same guidelines. If you're not good enough or start well, then coast and you get a pay rise. It's not a binary thing, is it? Yeah, it's not a binary thing. Codfather says, thoughts on Ineos, who would you have preferred? It's irrelevant. They was the only ones who met the valuation. So it's like, oh, could you have got Qatar in? No, they never made a fucking serious bid, or their bid weren't accepted, so it's irrelevant. Vertigo says, damn it, my size isn't available. If you sized up, it wouldn't look too bad because they are pretty snug if there's a size up available. R. Mackenzie says, mate, watch your vid on the finance side of things the other day. Still don't get how we wouldn't be all right if Jim paid off the debt because, as you say, our revenue is high. You've also got to think of, I don't think Jim Ratcliffe is doing this to make money because I don't think he's going to make money. I think he will be dead before he gets to cash any of this out at all. I think he is doing it for the sport of it. Now, there's a long way between doing it for profit and doing it as a charity. And doing it for the sport is probably in the middle. He controls less than 30% of the club, or he owns less than 30% of the club. Asking him to clear the literal hundreds, almost $1 billion of debt, when he only owns 29% of it, is not right. Asking the fucking Glazers to pay the debt that they lumbered on the club would be the better angle so we can fucking compete. Because they've got the money. Or it looks like they've got the fucking money. Or they could choose to fucking portion it somewhere else. Could Ineos as an organisation probably clear the debt? Yeah, they probably could. But should they? When they own less than 30% of the football club? We're putting the pressure on the wrong place here. It's the fucking Glazers that still need to sort it. And they won't. They've never been interested in that. Darmin says, got some lens flare, let me stop. It's because it's that one day a year that the sun come out in Manchester. So I've fixed that. There we go. Albo says he's doing it for ego and status. I think that's probably the answer, to be honest. Andrew says, how long till the club is debt-free? Well, we've not reduced the debt in 20 years, so fuck knows. David says, he'd clear if he bought the rinsing bastards out. I agree. Yeah, I agree. But does he have the capital to do that? TCG Hub says, why would Jim pay off 800 million to pay someone else's mismanagement? Yeah, that's the other thing. Would Jemba get into this team? No. Yeah, there is sun in Manchester. It probably won't be around later, so might go and make some use of it in a minute. Abner says, what Ineos can do is nudge the situation so he can convince Glazers to sell more shares to him. That might be the move. That might be the move. Andrew says, any plans to sell smaller paddock merch like hats and hoodies, revenue stream for those who don't wear football shirts day to day? Yeah, to be honest, it's something that a little bit disappointed we've not managed to develop on this season. But yeah, it is something that we get a lot of asks for. With Fuse, we don't need like big minimums either, so I'll try and get that done before the end of the season, see if we can get something out. It's like an 8-week thing to turn it around. Steve says, can't the Glazers sell up next year and force Jim to sell his shares if they accept a bid from somewhere else? Don't know. Drew says, it seems any business is waiting on Marcus leaving. I think that's probably a little bit of a case, to be honest with you. David says, the original loan the Glazers put up against was 790 mil, so after 20 years, we're back where we started. Yeah, not only that, there's been over fucking $1.5 billion taken out of the club in interest costs, debt refinancing, early payment, fucking issues, and just associated costs. Like, it's just an absolute fucking madness. Hostad says, do I know what Sean Goss is doing now? No, I don't. I'm not familiar with it. Let's have a Google while we're on. I liked Sean. He was a fucking serious footballer, but shows what happens when things don't go. I know he had a back injury for a while. He's at some Greek team, by the looks of things. I'm not even going to... Asteras Tripolis. Joined them in 2023. He's played 22 games, according to this. He's on contract till this summer. They're in Greek Super League. Looks like he's played a little bit there, though. Obviously, did a little bit at Motherwell. Paddock bucket at needed. I totally agree. The problem with that we had with a couple of the merch items that aren't your typical like hoodies and t-shirts, that the price that we were getting quoted would have been like a retail price. So there's no benefit for the club to sell them. Like you'd have to just sell them at the cost. Like, and then you're selling them at the cost, but you've got the management of the shipping and the customer service and all the rest of that sort of stuff. So it'd be a net loss to the club if we did. So we just can't do it. Paddock budgie smugglers. I actually got 2 samples made. I got a red one and a black one. I got basketball tops made. And I was thinking as a gym top. They were smart. And I was thinking, so they were based on like the Chicago Bulls style, one red, one black. And it just said Stretford on the front and then Paddock on the back and then a number. They were pretty smart, but they were pretty dear. So I don't know. And if there's any interest in those, I could maybe do a few of those because they were pretty smart, to be honest. Steve says it feels kind of weird, the idea of selling wingers when wingers is what the club has been known for and more than any other position. A little bit. Anyways, right, I'm going to wrap it up. But cheers, as always, for everyone for tuning in. Hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoy the match. I'll be back after the game later, and we'll see how it's all going down. Hopefully, it's 3 points for United, and it's nice and easy. But will it? Right, see you in a bit. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms.